Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Let's talk about enlightenment. What is it? Nirvana. There's all kinds of different words for it. A lot of people chase this idea of enlightenment, particularly spiritual people, Buddhists, those types of people. Supposedly the Buddha obtained enlightenment by sitting under a Bodhi tree, some kind of tree. Used to be a bookstore, probably still is, over in Beverly Hills called the Bodhi Tree. The bookstore sold all kinds of interesting books. They had a coffee shop there too. Pretty interesting little place if you're ever in Beverly Hills. And I hate fucking Beverly Hills, fuck Beverly Hills. But if you're ever over there, go to the Bodhi Tree, it's a good spot. I can tell you that there is such thing as enlightenment. Now, we don't know if there's such thing as heaven. We don't know about spirit realms. We don't know about paranormal stuff, right? I mean, you'll find out when you die. But enlightenment is real. I experienced it once, for one day. I was enlightened for one day. I had one day of enlightenment. A whole day, 24 hours. Just a little taste, a little lick. Just a little sense of what it might be like. And then it was gone. I woke up one morning particularly happy, but a different type of happy than I'd ever been. It was a contentment. There's kind of a difference. Because I didn't win any lotteries or really have anything special on my plate. It wasn't a child version of happiness. We're so happy to eat some good food, or we're so happy to play with a new toy, so happy to see our best friend. Those are all pretty juvenile forms of happiness. I don't mean to belittle them. But this was different. And it's hard to explain. You know, there's a Taoist saying. Taoism is pretty cool. It's different than Buddhism. They say, those who know don't say, those who say don't know. Mainly because the experience of life is rather unexplainable. But the experience of enlightenment, that kind of feeling, is something that you can really only get for yourself. It's hard for me to tell you in a story. It's hard for me to draw a picture on the wall and have you understand it and be like, oh, well, now I'm enlightened too. You have to be there to experience it. But I'll do my best. So I woke up. I was living in the ghetto. I was living in a neighborhood in Los Angeles called the Jungle. Only because it was a gang and junction area that had about 5 different gangs. Cops were on the whole fucking scene. We had every brand of law enforcement you can think of. Helicopters, cars, peeping out windows with cameras, fucking every form of surveillance you can possibly imagine was on every block. Fucking war zone. More like a military zone, really. I didn't like living down there. I hated the jungle. Hated my neighbors. I was rather aggressive towards my neighbors. Don't fuck with me was my vibe. Me and my brother were the only white boys in the neighborhood, but people learned pretty quick not to mess with us, not to take us for a joke. We ain't no punk white boys like you might be used to. We're the blow up your fucking house white boys if you fucking look at me wrong. But every day was kind of that vibe. Me against the world. But not this day. This day I woke up happy, content, extremely content with everything, with the world in general, with myself. There were no body issues that day, no anxiety issues that day, no fear that day, no mental problems that day, nothing. It was just, I just felt great. I felt like I can handle things, like life was easy. And I wasn't used to that feeling. So I got dressed and went through my normal routine of the day, work, play, whatever. It was just a normal day. It wasn't anything special. I didn't go and solve problems or climb mountains. I just went through a normal day, but it was a day of extreme contentment. I was giddy. I mean, I was giggling and laughing the entire day. For no reason, like a crazy person. TV commercials would make me laugh. A sign on the street would make me laugh. I mean, anything. I'm sure I looked crazy to other people. I had a hard time containing it. Like you're the only one who gets the joke. And everybody else is sitting there scratching their heads like, what was that? And you get it. You're just laughing away. I had a theme that was running through my head all day long. A phrase, a sentence, an affirmation. All day long that just came out of nowhere. Just arose. And all day long I told myself, happily, giddily, as I was laughing and enjoying the day, there's nothing to do. There's nothing to do. There's nothing to do. And it wasn't like a child who's bored whining to his mother and say, there's nothing to do. It was a glorious statement of victory. Like when you've gotten everything done and there's nothing left to do. There is nothing to do except enjoy, except live, except experience. The colors looked brighter, fuller, richer that day. The grass, I could just sit and stare at the grass. It was so green. I never stared at the grass in my neighborhood. I never even noticed that there was grass in my neighborhood. There's grass in the jungle. And it's really fucking green, at least if you look at it, right? I thought it was all rats and roaches. Crips and Bloods, MS-13 and 18th Street. Thought it was all cops, helicopters, paddy wagons, syringes on the streets, shit on the sidewalk, stray dogs and bums. There's beauty to be found, and I found it. I didn't even have to search for it. I didn't have to focus on it. It was the opposite. My entire day was an expansive view, not a narrow view. Not like with blinders on, like you see those horses that the cops ride. They always have those blinders on. I always feel sorry for the horse that it's limited in its view. They do that so they can control the horse. We do that to ourselves, unknowingly. I didn't realize that I was doing that to myself until I had that one day of enlightenment. I went the whole day just enjoying life. Almost like a child, but it wasn't childlike. It was wisdom. Like I was connected with the wisdom of the universe, and I realized that there was, as this mantra, this affirmation kept playing over like a broken record, that there was nothing to do. I'd always felt so overwhelmed with things to do. There's nothing to do. There's nothing to do. I went to bed that night and I was thankful. Did my usual prayers. A lot of times when I had prayed in the past, I would beg for gifts. Like a kid sitting on Santa's lap. Please give me this, give me that. Give me money, give me love, give me this, give me that. Please, Lord, give me this, give me this, give me, give me, give me. Always praying for stuff. Begging for stuff like a beggar. Like a bum. Telling myself unknowingly this narrative of I don't have, I'm without, and I need. But not that day. I was just thankful. Just thankful for the day. thankful for the laugh, thankful for the gift of doing nothing, of getting through a day with a new outlook. Unfortunately, I woke up the next morning my old self. The grumpy old Gus, the negative Nilly, that hard as nails, you look at me wrong, I'll shoot you in your fucking face person that I had always been. But I remembered, I'll never forget as long as I live. This was a while ago. This happened to me, geez, more than 20 years ago. But I'll never forget it. Never as long as I live will I ever forget it. Of that day. I can't recreate that feeling. It has to happen naturally. You can't force it. But I'll never forget it. And I just wanted to talk about it, that there is a way to exist with enlightenment. Enlightenment is real. I experienced it for one day. If I could only get back there. That's the realm of kings. That's the realm of God. That's the realm of warriors. If you can remember one thing from this story, at least remember the affirmation that I was running through my head that day. And I try to tell myself this in times when I get overwhelmed by life, the rat race of life. There's nothing to do. There's nothing to do. Thanks for watching.